broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We're here. It's happening.
This is so exciting. Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to our very first episode of the Satisfaction AfterShow here at AfterBuzz TV. Tonight, we are talking the premiere of Season 2, Episode 1 through release. I'm your host, Allison Dean. You can find me everywhere at The Allison Dean, and I am joined by Blake V, Khalil Abubu, and Michelle DeShon, who plays Annika on Satisfaction. Welcome.
Yay!
Thank
you so much for being here tonight, Michelle. Woohoo! Woo!
There's a sound.
It's exciting, right? It's exciting.
Hashtag get satisfied. Wait, what was the hashtag?
Are you satisfied?
It's
very. Now I am. I am now satisfied.
Are you satisfied?
Thank you. Thank you for making me satisfied.
It's a question.
Let's oh well now I am. Let's run down just where everyone can find y'all on social media.
Yes, I am Blake V, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
What's up, AfterBuzzers? Khalil Boo Boo. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Khalil Boo Boo.
I'm Michelle DeShon on Instagram and DeShon Michelle on Twitter.
Look at that, just
Keep
switching it up.
Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not. I'm over it.
Yeah, it works.
It totally works.
And if you're not already subscribing, please hit the subscribe button right down below us and follow us everywhere because we are everywhere. Everywhere. It's so true. So last season was pretty juicy, I'd say, and
to say the least.
I've been told by the ether that season 2 is going to get pretty hot and spicy, so I'm excited, but I think we're gonna dive into season 2. So they left us last season with guns and potential death, and that was horrifying and
alarming. Yes,
they did. Interestingly enough, so not always with television shows will they literally pick up right to where you left off. They did that for us tonight.
It's nice. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
You'd like that?
Yes, I do.
Because
you don't. It's already been enough time from the previous season that it's hard to think. Be like, okay, well, where do we leave off?
Right.
If they just pick up right where they left off, you're like,
to leave
good
you
to
on
go.
that kind of cliffhanger. You're like, answer the damn question. I'm ready.
That's exactly
Been
what
waiting
you're like.
long enough.
Who's
exactly
gonna die?
what it is.
Exactly.
Right. So when you read the script, Michelle, for this episode, were you thinking, sounds about right? Or were you like, not what I was expecting?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I definitely wasn't expecting somebody to die. For sure. Well, and it was actually funny because when we filmed the ending scene in the first season, we did it 3 different ways, where he walked in with a gun, or he walked in without a gun, and he walked in once like covered in blood and a gun. And so I was super excited to read it to figure out like which one they
went with.
What did we choose? Like, did he? So that was exciting to figure out. But yeah, I was not expecting death. And that dramatic beginning. It definitely starts with a bang.
It really does. And actually, I was surprised with how Neil actually delivered all the, like, here's what's been going on, Grace.
Yeah.
I know, just right to it.
Yeah, well, I think it's like he's so shocked. It's like this is a man, like he's got to man up and get it done, and because the cops are coming, and he's gotta
get the story straight, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, time is limited.
Like, gotta say it now.
Yeah, so basically, Neil ends up killing, what was his name?
Daniel.
Neil kills Daniel.
By accident.
It was an accident. Granted, it was an accident. What a messy way to go. I mean, actually, I thought that Neil might sort of bite the bullet, too, a little bit, because that was a big fall.
It was. And it was, like, sort of not an accident.
It was like self-defense.
Definitely self-defense.
Well, it was self-defense.
It was like by accident, but not really by accident.
I mean, he really did want to shoot both of them or something. I don't even know. I was like, they are telling you the truth, Daniel.
Yeah.
just don't.
I know. Well, it's funny because, okay, so they had Neil sort of like give this speech of like, why not to shoot everyone, right? And then I feel like whenever they have these moments in shows, it's always like they have the person say something really like biting, like, this is why, man, like you shouldn't do it. But I feel like in real life it would just irritate the other person way more and then like really make them shoot you. But in shows it always is that way. It's like, I'm going to insult you to your face so you don't shoot me. Then they don't.
I was thinking like, why are you insulting the shooter?
Right,
like,
right. You need to like kiss his butt a little bit and say things are all right. Like,
now the whole like, yo bro, my wife cheated on me too. Like, I could see that, even though it would be kind of weird. Exactly.
Right,
even though it would be kind of weird, like, oh, well, I guess since your wife cheated, everything's cool. I'll just let it go. But
he's like, I see your point, man. I'll let the gun down.
Up. I'm like, whoa. What did you say? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
Yeah, it was anyway. So once the deed is done, then Neil goes into crazy, need to clean this up mode. Grace is still processing everything. That actually confused me a little bit on some level because I was like, well, Grace, you did commit adultery as well, so you need to be less upset about all this.
Yeah.
It's always easier to do something to someone.
Actually, no. I take back my answer, but you go first, and then I'll speak.
I think it's like that. I mean, not only is he cheating, he's also
being paid for it.
He's an escort.
Yes.
He's a gigolo, basically.
Yes.
It's a bit. That's a little crazy.
Totally.
No,
that was essentially my thought
what she's
too.
freaking out about.
Yeah, she thought it was like maybe a one-time thing. Like, okay, hey, we like one for one. We both,
I don't know,
we
but
both
she has a
messed up,
client. Like, you got somebody on retainer.
Yeah,
That's kind of like.
What you're talking about, Simon? She ended
Simon.
it with him. I mean, she hasn't gone back to him for.
She did go
few.
back to him
briefly.
For a minute.
A little bit. She did.
Simon will never go away. I was like, Simon will always be there.
Yeah.
He loves her. Anywho, so
He says, "I'm what she needs right now."
Simon annoys me. But anyway,
I think he'll grow on you a little
Khalil,
bit.
why? Tell us why. I'd like to know. Why
Because-
specifically does he bother you?
I don't like him sleeping with Grace, and then like not only sleeping with her, but like getting feelings and being like, "Yo, I might be better for her than Neil." Like, I don't like that.
Okay.
I'm not happy about it.
Okay, Khalil
Would it
doesn't
be
like
better
it.
if he was sleeping with Annika?
Now that
She's like, yes.
We have talked about Blair and I are dying to have a scene together, and we've been like, please give a scene. But then we kind of like look at each other awkwardly, like that would probably mean if we had a scene together, that
would be
something
scandalous.
A little,
Yep.
a little awkward.
We should ask
especially if
the
she's
question that you
16.
had.
But
I'm not-
she's grown. This season though, that was
grown
last
up.
season. She was 16.
Okay.
This season, she's grown up.
25.
She's done.
Ready.
25.
She's
She is
full-on
basically
woman.
40. She's ready
40.
for some action. Yeah.
She's ready. She wants it. It's all
still
happening.
awkward.
I think that's fair.
Still awkward.
She's on the festival circuit now.
Oh yeah.
Things are real mature.
And on the festival circuit, clearly, things happen.
Things happen.
We'll get to that though.
Things happen.
So of course Neil calls Adriana to sort of clean shop because he's thinking, okay, well, if the cops come, then it's gonna be everything is gonna be revealed about her business. So she shows up. And that's always awkward. And then Grace puts two and two together about like, oh my gosh, you're the... And then Grace is like totally in shock that she's been doing the interior design for Adriana all in season 1. So what did we think about all of that? Like that whole exchange and just where those two characters are at. What did you think?
Yeah, well, I really didn't like that.
I knew Blake had something to say.
I got something to say about every moment of this episode. You just look to hear for answers. No, I just thought it gave me like a stomach ache that that Adriana was, having Grace bestow services upon her home. Like I didn't understand really why. And then later in the episode, Grace even asked, "Why did you even hire me?" And she's like, "You got a great portfolio." But I'm like, nah, it's deeper than that, and it gave me a stomach ache.
I was okay with it. I was fine with it. Didn't bother me at all.
Perfect.
I think it's supposed to give you a stomach ache because I think
It's totally
she's
uncomfortable.
definitely got a she's like a spider with her web. She's got a
Exactly.
plan.
She's
That lady.
she's mischievous and conniving and like,
Yeah.
let's see it. What do you got planned? How are you gonna bamboozle and trick these people into
good
doing
word.
whatever you want to do. Like,
exactly what she's doing.
So that's why I was like, all right, I see you working.
I mean, last season they were definitely laying it on us pretty hard.
Laying it on hard, eh?
Thank you.
2 for 2.
Adriana really wanted to have a relationship on some level with Neil, like more than what Neil wanted to give her. Yeah. I mean, he sort of, I think, was entertaining some of the not even the idea, but some of the flirtation, you know. So I think he would engage a little bit to kind of play her game or sort of beat her at her game on some level. But then, I don't know, then he sort of stopped, or she came on too strong, or I don't know. But, you know, tonight they were feeding us a little bit of that, where Adriana steps in and is like, clearly your wife wasn't enough, you know, like whatever she said. Her choice Adriana lines, which I appreciate so much. I'm like, oh, and there's a zinger for us right
and the delivery.
Okay, so because Michelle is here to grace us with so much knowledge, so in real life, and hopefully we're gonna have Adriana come into studio, so that we can see actually for ourselves if she really is like her character or not. But is she? Tell us.
Well, no. Okay. A horrible person, and is
so
like,
is she really an awful person?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, she's the worst. She's just the worst. No, she's not.
No, but just like in the way that she's like, she like can commandeer a room. Like,
I will say,
like,
yes, Catherine's like so fabulous. Like, I kind of like want to grow up to be her, just because she is like totally, and she looks. I think she has the most amazing legs of any like.
She has great legs.
Yeah,
she does.
She's yeah. So Adriana has a really good wardrobe and knows how to work it and knows how to walk into a room, and so does Catherine.
Oh, okay. So similarities. Yeah. On the positives, I should say.
On the positives.
It's just the amount I want to hear.
Okay.
Of similarities.
Good.
Right?
I like it. Yeah. All right.
Who knows? She might run an escort business, and I just don't know about it yet. But
she could.
Is she hiring?
We'll talk after.
Application over here.
I'll let her know.
You have a connection now. Okay, so basically, you know, Grace leaves. She goes to see Simon. She also is supposed to be going to Milan for like a residency with a famous, like, is it a school? It's interior designer.
It's like a
famous, like with like someone very, very prominent.
We
in
definitely
the
know what
community.
we're talking about.
I know. I'm like, I should have done my like hardcore cliff notes. I mean, I was like, it was a long time ago, first season. Hello. It was. I was actually waiting, by the way, like me and all the Pilates chicks that I work out with, all year, they're like, when is Satisfaction coming back? When is that? That's how long it's been, where we're
it's been
like.
over a year. I mean, we aired in
That's
July.
a long time.
We aired in July last year.
And I'm sorry I haven't binged it, but I just host too many other shows right now. like, I can't re-binge.
Fair enough.
Yeah, moving on. Okay, so Grace takes off. She runs to Simon.
Of course.
And
he doesn't like it.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
I'm
I
not
know.
here for that at all.
Well, I mean, okay, so she said she needed to have some questions answered, but I didn't really know that that's where she needed
Like
to
a
run
girlfriend's
to.
house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, considering everything that just happened,
you
I don't
go to this guy.
Right. And I don't think your mind would be in that place to go to this guy.
Well, here's the thing, though. In the end of first season, he basically proclaims his love for her. So she's now viewing him on a different level. Like, oh, you're not just my paid escort man, you're someone that's now fallen in love with me. So it's like, it's definitely added a layer of complexity, I'd say, to their relationship. I was like, Michelle, tell us.
Well,
something.
I mean, that was like the whole thing first season was that Grace always meant more to Simon, and so I think she feels very safe with him. And I think if she did go to a girlfriend's house, like, what do you say? Like, oh, by the way, like, I just found out my husband's an escort.
True.
Like, Simon knows the situation, and he knows Adriana, and he might have some insight that she could get from him.
Yeah, it's definitely an unconventional. I mean, I'd say. Grace's relationship with Simon and just sort of everything that now Simon knows about Neil. I mean, it's like, you know, it's almost like Simon and Neil should be BFFs on some level. You know what I mean?
Well, in this episode, I mean, they
kinda.
They got something. There might be a bromance coming.
One can hope. Like, one can hope.
One can
They
hope.
can just have like trysts together where they're just all like
Comparing
everyone's
notes.
just, you know.
Yeah.
It could be, what's that movie where with what's the movie? Khalil. You know.
Let's see, the mantrysts.
Lauren,
with
who's
Tom
listening?
Cruise.
Tell me. Yeah, no. What's the movie where like it's just like Nicole Kidman is in it? They're just
Eyes Wide Shut?
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
I was
masks.
picturing the
Tom
way you were
Cruise,
going into it. I
right?
was
Was
picturing
it?
something
Yeah,
different.
Tom Cruise. and
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
It was like their last hurrah.
It was.
The last hurrah.
And Kubrick's, I think. Anyway,
I remember I watched that movie in a film class, and it was shocking to see in a classroom.
in a film
You're like-
class.
Yeah, it was really like
That is weird.
Interessante.
watching this in school.
Yeah, depending on where you're sitting too, and who you're sitting with. Like,
Don't make eye contact.
Right.
I feel
You're like only on the screen.
I know. I don't know what's around me. I don't feel comfortable. Okay, yeah. So back to Grace is at Simon's. Then Simon leaves, and who shows up but Simon's stepmom. This was a reveal for us this season because we didn't get
anything
parental activity. We may have gotten some, did we get some like nuanced references last season? I think we did, like about like a father, but that was it. Like it was, I think he may have spoken of father, but that it wasn't enough to make us go, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, this was the new,
Yeah,
this
this
was
is
a new
a new
development.
reveal.
Yes.
So he comes from like lots of money, like Rockefeller, that's what they compared him to,
Yeah.
Rockefeller level cashola. And we don't know why there's been a rift though in the fam. We don't know.
Well, he said they split up after his mom. You
Oh, but
so-
the
His mom kicked it a while
But there
ago.
must have been
Kick the
something else.
bucket.
I mean, if your mom passes away, unless your dad killed the mother, I mean, that would do it. I'd be like, yeah, sorry.
Or unless, what if maybe the dad was like cheating with Emma, like along or something, and then when the mom died, he was real quick to marry Emma, and that
could be
didn't
it.
sit well with him. So like,
Yeah.
Or just a new chick in general.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and he was like dating Emma or was in love with Emma, and then his dad married her.
Uh-oh.
Wait.
hold
I'm
up.
pretty sure that comes together in the first episode. I might be jumping. I'm
That's
pretty
fine.
sure.
We love you. Okay, so wait. So Simon and Emma had a thing. And oh wait, I feel like they did reveal this last season, didn't they?
No, I mean Emma was definitely not revealed at all last season.
No.
She's new, but yeah, that's
The reference to
a love.
a love that was stolen away.
Yes.
I feel like it was.
I might have just. I think that maybe didn't happen episode.
That's okay.
I'm
No,
getting my
no.
episodes mixed up. Maybe.
Well, it's
good.
fine because they
Good for us.
It's all online
know.
now. You can
It is.
Yeah,
see
you can see the whole
binge
season.
binge the
binge
whole
to your heart's content, but we will not be. So just know that you're watching week by week with us because that is how we roll here at the AB TV. And that's actually what we had to do with Bloodline, and it was painful.
Hey.
It was painful.
We're like
let's
the
not
only
relive
people
it.
in the world.
I know. Everyone was like, "Don't tell them what's going on." Yeah, right. Okay, so that's all happening, and then simultaneously, then Simon, when he leaves, he actually leaves to retrieve Grace's stuff back at the house, and Simon runs into Neil at the house, and then that becomes a point of contention, and I wasn't seeing this sort of like whatever happened and like the Neil punching of the Simon, and like it just, I felt like we had moved past all that. Like, okay, you know, it's like you're not allowed to do these things anymore, Neil, because you're sleeping with everyone
Everyone.
and anything and making money from it. I was like, so you don't get to punch Simon now.
Living the dream.
He's living the dream, Khalil. He's
That was
okay.
a joke, guys.
We didn't think so.
Don't.
No.
You were dead serious.
I was saying it to them so they don't like come for me or anything.
What did we think of that whole thing? The whole thing. It felt different than last season, I have to say. Like, because I've seen exchanges between Neil and Simon last season that felt a little bit more organic. This one felt very staged.
God.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't feel like, I was like, no, what?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like there was conflict where there didn't need to be.
Okay.
On a few levels. Because like first of all, okay, so did Grace actually send Simon back to get her things?
No, I think she probably said, maybe not. Did she say
I don't think she did.
We never.
No,
he said that.
I think Simon's just in love with Grace.
And
and
wants to
Grace
be
showed up,
nice.
and
Okay.
Grace fell
Didn't have
asleep,
anything.
and he's like, I know what's best for you.
Right.
You should move in with me. I'll go get your stuff.
More reason why I don't like him.
I know. Just making all these decisions while you're asleep.
What if he comes into the studio? Are you gonna be like,
I'm like, what's up, bro?
You're like, I'm not liking those decisions
Michelle's like,
you are making.
Michelle's like, I'm gonna tell Blair that he must not come back. He must stay away.
Warning you.
This is not gonna be a good situation. This guy Khalil, dangerous. This guy Khalil.
Very serious.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, no, and then just Simon appearing in the house, like taking it upon himself to go get these things, I thought was like very strange. Just me thought it was strange. And then also Neil has been trying to find out like where Grace is at this point, and then like all of a sudden Simon's there, and he's apparently there for her things and is totally implying she's moving. I just thought it was all like it was like too much too soon. Like she just left the house, all this craziness happened, and then like suddenly this dude's coming to move her out. It was just like, ugh.
And the whole time I was going, where is Annika? Where is Annika? What is happening? This is not okay. And then anyway, yeah. What did you think, Khalil?
Well, I don't really like Simon, so when he punched him, I was okay with that. I was like, this took you long enough, all right? Ever since he dumped you in the mud in the first episode, you should have been whooped his ass. But
he said that while we were watching it too. He was like, I don't like him.
Wow. What did you say when she came onto the screen, though?
hi.
No, it was like, hey.
That's right. Yeah, no, I also thought it was a little odd, the whole like tearing up the house. Like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't know. I was like, what? Okay.
Well, I think it's supposed to. I mean, maybe it's because he has gone through a lot, so I don't think it's supposed to really make
any sense.
Yeah. He's just
That's
like,
true.
oh my god, like
what is happening to me?
Simon has shown up to move Grace's stuff out, and somebody died in my pool yesterday, and
it was all a lot in a small amount of time. Like all these crazy changes.
Yeah, like at the end of the episode, so I was watching it with some friends, and someone was like, "Is he wearing the same shirt?" And I was like, "This has been a very long day. It's been a really long day for the
longest."
He really did. I mean, have a very because then he went to find you, and he went to this. He went to the festival.
He did.
He did.
Found some time.
That whole scene where just the needing to go backstage because he realized I don't have cell service and I need to find my daughter, and the only way that this is going to happen is if I get on stage and shout on a microphone her name, and I mean it really sounded like he was like I don't know, professing love to Grace.
Okay.
Speak.
So I saw your face when we were watching it, and like you like had a problem with that whole exchange. But like, now I'm not a middle-aged man, but
really?
I can say no. I may act like one, but I can say that is like a fantasy for some guys. Like, I'm gonna bum rush the stage. I'm on a mission. I gotta find my daughter. Nobody's gonna stop me. I'm gonna bum rush the stage, and then I'm gonna
get
go
with that lady over
backstage
there
and have sex with some chick that I just met right then and there, and then I'm gonna go find my daughter. That's that's like a male fantasy.
I feel like this is gonna also happen in Taken 4 or something.
Right.
This
exact
Liam Neeson
scene.
moment
Right?
It
for
is.
him.
It kind of is. It's like,
I'm very glad you broke that down.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing it over here from like Lady Vision,
Lady
or I don't know
Vision,
how.
exactly. And I saw that when we were watching it together. I'm like, no, you're looking at it.
Yeah.
You're using your lady goggles. Like, no, think
They
about it
were
as a guy.
like full power. Because I was
Yeah.
just like my face the whole time was like,
This doesn't make sense. Why would you want to? Like, no, as a guy, you're like.
I keep asking him questions. I'm like, what?
It's done.
Why? When? What?
See,
That was
I
me.
actually love when he like goes on stage.
See?
And, like, I think because I don't know. I think because Neil and Annika have a very like good relationship, and honestly, I was watching it and it reminded me of the first episode of season 1 when Annika's on stage and kind of like shouts out like the song kind of is speaking to her, and then her dad stands up and like claps for her, and so
Bringing
then
it
like
full
here
circle.
like he gets on a stage like calling out to his dad. I thought it was I liked it. I love.
now, what about walking into the trailer and
Yeah, I don't know about him having sex with that woman. I like the stage moment. I don't know about him having sex with some woman.
I'm here for all of it.
It's true. It's true. That's why he's an important part of this panel. Okay, so yeah. Annika walks in, clearly sees that her father must have been knocking around with the tour manager lady, and then proceeds to, highly awkward. Because at this point, what is your character thinking about Grace and Neil?
Well, at the end of last season, she did have like an honest conversation with Grace where she like kind of was like, yo, like something's up. Like, tell me what's going on.
I can tell.
Yeah, I can tell. So I think she knows that something's wrong, but I don't think she, thinks that they're sleeping with other people at this point. And so, no, I think it was definitely surprising. But I think that's also why when she runs outside, that's like the first question she asks is like, are you guys broken up? Like, what is, like, instead, she automatically jumps to that because I think she kind of already knows something's rocky.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sweet moment when, like, he embraces you and, like, becomes that father figure right after all the shtipping that just happened. Like, it was like...
living the dream.
Like, happy that you can contrast that so well, Matt Casimir. Like, good job,
Only
buddy.
he can do it.
Good job. Yeah, and so obviously I don't think we'll see band manager lady again. I think we're moving along.
It's just a cool story to tell the guys.
I mean, I can't.
You can't.
We're talking about episode 1.
Yeah, you can't. You're sorry.
I know it's hard. Isn't it hard?
It's like, because I'm very, like, I think I'm thinking of things that, that happened in episode 1. And I'm like, wait, that's episode 9 that happened.
Oh, yeah, no.
Quite.
Episode 9.
We're not there.
We're not there.
We're not there.
Oh, sadly, we're not there. Well, sadly in the sense that I kind of want to know everything that's going to happen. All right. And then, obviously, he proceeds to give you all of your college tuition money. So, obviously, we all want to know what you're going to do with that. But you don't need to tell us.
So, you must have been going to community college.
I know, I was like, that's not Harvard money.
It's a very small envelope. No, he did. He gave me all of my money, which, I think at first when I read it, I was like, feels a little like your dad like giving me like a wad of cash. But I think she's gonna enjoy it.
I think you are.
Again, another male fantasy to provide for your children. Just
give them envelopes of money.
Cash.
I mean,
I'm telling you.
It was nice.
I think that's also a child's fantasy to be handed envelopes of cash as well.
It's also a woman, like, that's a good fantasy for, I think, anyone, just getting a bunch of cash.
Your dad being like, don't worry about going to college. Here's some money instead.
It's true.
You follow that singing career.
For real, man.
Follow your dreams, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, he had a moment. Neil finally, he had a wake up call and now you have all of your college tuition money to do with as you will.
He trusts her a lot. There's a lot of trust.
You are a mature 40-year-old.
Yes. She's 40 years old and so she's finally ready to continue with life without her parents because she's 40.
I will say, I told you that I am praying that your man, Mateo, comes back, but we don't know if he will because it's only episode 1.
Well, but we do learn in episode 1 that she did
broke up, but breaking up clearly in a show like Satisfaction, that doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean much.
I was like,
doesn't mean much.
That can be said, but I don't need to believe that means that things are very done, especially for the youngins who this happens, right? Where you're going.
Did you find it weird that like?
Tell me.
They met.
Yes.
They never really said his. I don't know if I'm not sure if they said his age, but she wasn't 21.
Who?
And he
what
was,
are you talking about?
Annika wasn't
Annika
21, and Mateo was old enough to get into the bar where they met at.
No, well, they did talk about that or there was some like weird moment because you couldn't get in, so he knew that you were underage.
Yeah.
No, she said that she left her guitar on the bus and her ID was in the.
He was supposed to be like older than her. Because she was like 16, 17.
Right.
And he had to be at least
I think
21.
he saw into that, though. I mean, yes, she did leave her stuff on the bus or whatever, but...
Oh, because he did look at it to get it back to... So
wait, what?
He looked at your ID to give it back to you. Season 1.
Yeah.
He looked at your ID to give it back to you. So...
He knew that you were younger.
You could see your age. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think I was lying about my age to him. Wait, what?
No. It was
just an observation.
Oh,
an observation.
There's an age difference. Yes,
He's basically calling you a liar, Michelle.
Yes. Yes. They were aware that he was older. Yes. Which I think is, at the end of season 1, he kind of pressures her to go on the road. And I think because he's older, he's ready.
I really wanted you to. I was like,
ready to go on. Well, she kind of does.
I know.
She drives off at the end to go and meet her love. And
it didn't work out.
Musician.
Such is life.
Musician.
Such is
Such
life.
is life.
Such is life.
Okay.
Take away from this after show.
I know, huh?
I know.
Like a moment of
see you later.
realization.
So then Neil and Grace end up back at the house together. And I really thought they were going to get it on in that moment. Like, after their heart-to-heart and, like, you know, I wanted to just find my way back to you moments and all that sincerity and loveliness, I was like,
I was going to do 2 in one day.
Yes, I did.
There you go.
Did you?
2 a days, yeah. It was
Did you?
his wife,
No,
why
wait.
not?
Did you honestly think so, or are you just saying that right now?
It was his wife, of course.
Did you think so?
She just went through a traumatic experience. She's feeling vulnerable. Makes
Well, they
sense.
do make out a little bit.
I know, but
Yeah.
I was, like, disappointed that it just was like...
And anytime,
can't.
like, you know, like when she put her hand on his head, it's like, see, you're feeling it too. So
Of course she's
let's
feeling it. It's been a while.
let's go a little further.
Really feeling it.
Oh, dear.
Just saying.
I was sort of like misled even before in the episode, because at the beginning we see that they're like together and holding hands and loving and really like realizing like, oh, all this stuff has made us better and closer, and we realize all these things about our marriage that we didn't know, yada yada, whatever. Guy dies. Guy dies. Neil unveils the truth. Grace goes to, like, all these crazy things happen, and then at the end it was like suddenly decided like, oh no, they're not together.
Right.
So that was the part that I didn't quite
Connect.
yeah, and like he didn't even say like, oh, what, we're really done. It was more so like he kind of saw it coming, I feel like. So I didn't see it coming at that point. I thought that there was still like hope for them to be together. I know that she got all that awful information and that all these things happened, but it was like they'd already been through like the worst of it, I felt like, at the beginning of the
and the
episode,
guy
and they were
dies.
still cool. So the ending sort of threw me off that way.
Michelle? I was like, I could tell. She's like, what can I say about this? What can I say?
Thinking of something to say. Well, I think there is still hope for them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
Well, and I
I'm
think it's
with
just
you.
kind of like
A momentary like
Yeah.
separation
I
need
to
to
think.
breathe.
so much.
Yeah.
I can't. Look
Yeah.
at you in the morning right now.
Yeah, it would be hard too.
Yes,
Truly.
But I think there's always still hope. I mean, just the kiss. I think it's like there's still hope. They still got that spark going on.
Little
And I
thing.
appreciate how they tackled it. Like I've never been married, so I may be speaking from an uneducated place here. But like as far as, because in the one episode where they like take, this is last season as well, where they take up dance lessons, and it's like, oh, sometimes you got to dance with the new partner to be ready for your
old one.
partner. And I'm like, well, I never thought of it that way, but hey, maybe maybe, I don't know, I'm not married.
Maybe.
Good
It
excuse.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I
and
thought
I
it was,
like-
and it was clearly a
Don't dance with
metaphor
new
for
partners.
look, it was in the episode, but it was clearly a metaphor for
Yeah.
you know, their situation. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe, I don't know.
Right. When
I'll
your
get
situation
married.
gets stale, step
Dance
out of it
with
a
it.
little bit to appreciate what you had.
And step
I can
back
say
in.
the same is true for math problems. So I don't know if marriage works the same way.
Wouldn't
but-
that be like the key to life if marriage worked the same way as math
With math
problems?
problems or
Like he
what?
just found out the secret.
Life would be so much more simpler because there would be an answer every time.
Every
Solution
time.
for every problem.
You can figure it
Figure
out,
out
and there is a right and
a
wrong answer.
answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love should be like math.
Love
all the
should
time.
be like math.
It's all gray area.
So we got a lot from Grace. We did get a lot from Grace this episode. Grace and Adriana. And sort of like, they're really going to explore this storyline, I think, this
Yes.
season. It's very obvious. So, I mean, they gave
That was
us-
my favorite moment of the episode.
Which
You
one?
asked me before we started.
Yes, what was it?
What
Tell
was my
us.
favorite moment? It was the very end
Uh-huh.
when Grace appeared in Adriana's pool. But I was confused about something.
Tell us.
I have a question. Please help me. I need some help.
She's like the satisfaction whisperer for us.
It's so good. I know. It's like the source right here. So Grace took her ticket. We see her in the airport looking at the chart for her flight to Milan. Then she appears in Adriana's pool. Does Adriana also live in Milan or have some other house in Milan? Or was it like Grace changed her mind and came back and was like, okay.
She changed her mind. Yeah.
Did you also notice that Grace was in a white bathing suit, whereas Adriana was in
Black.
Uh-huh.
Jet.
Oh, nice.
I noticed
Now
that,
I
too.
have a
I
question.
do add some value sometimes. Just sometimes. It's not all the time.
I do have a question though. And what motivated Grace to go in the direction that Adriana wanted her in? Like, I knew from the fact that Adriana from when she hired her, it's like, oh, you're trying to recruit her too. So
you thought so?
Yeah.
Oh, see, no, I thought.
And that's why she hired her to do the interiors, because she was like, "That's my
all of a ploy. Like, I'm gonna recruit you too." And so now I'm just wondering, like, what was her motivation to
then succumb to it all?
Exactly.
Adriana's
Exactly.
motivation
No,
or
what
Grace's?
was Grace's motivation to also play the escort game?
I think Adriana, and I think you saw this like last season. I think that she's in love with Neil.
Yes.
And so it's all about her trying to manipulate that relationship. But I think Grace's reason that she came to Adriana's is because she's like, just all of this stuff happened, and it felt like going to Italy was running away, and that was a dream that she had when she was like 20. And I think she definitely has a curiosity with Adriana. I think you saw that last season with, when she would like sit down in Adriana's house and like pretend to kind of be her. I think Grace has kind of like another side to her that she's like, she has a fascination with what whole Adriana's all about.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can buy that.
We also got a little sneak peek. This
You
is like
you should agree with it, because it's like.
because I have to, because it's the truth.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it makes sense.
I disagree with that fact, Michelle. No, but we saw a little sneak peek into the next episode, which is like bordering on predictions territory. But she says, like, we get a little glimpse into Grace's little foray into this escort business. And she says, I want to feel like, what it is to be in control. Right. So she mentions control. And that's something Adriana has a lot of. She controls every aspect, it seems like, in her life. Maybe not her husband, who recently left her, but that is
another storyline.
Another time. But regardless, she's controlling everything, this escort business. She's manipulating all these man servants that she's hired to be in her business. And so, Grace, I feel like, can identify with that and feels like she's been so out of control in her own relationship and even her job. And, she's just now got this offer to go to Milan and all these things to really like develop herself. But she's like, I want to feel like what it really is to be in control.
Well, and I think, well, kind of, this is very broad, but I'm not giving anything away. Very broad, sweeping, like, the whole second season, I think that's, like, what every character almost goes through is, like, exploring the other side of themselves. Of, like, Grace kind of played mom for a long time, and now she's going to explore another side. Adriana.
Dominatrix Grace is coming.
Yes. Adriana, like, she is always in control and not super emotionally available, and, like, I think she's going to explore that side. Annika explores a very different side of herself. Like, I think that's kind of like the general theme for almost every character is like tapping into like that, the exploration of the other side, the hidden side.
Well, and I think we got a little tidbit of that with Adriana in this episode, just in like the reveal and the exchange that her and Grace had when Grace was collecting like the second batch of money that surprise, you still owe me money because I hate you and you whatever.
Basically.
But I thought that was interesting because she had that reveal about my husband. Right.
Yeah. Well, and that was like so like it was like emotion from Adriana, and it was like very different, and I think that's it's like both of them are experiencing the other side.
And isn't that funny that like she seems to be so in control of basically everything in her life except for that. Yeah. Except for her relationship. I thought that was a very interesting insight.
So before we get into predictions, I want to talk to Michelle just a little bit about like casting process for you last season and like what that was like. And then of course maybe give us some little juicy tidbits of like on-set antics and debauchery that you can tell us, because I'm sure things go on behind the scenes that all the fans want to know about. Casting process.
What do you want to like?
I don't know. How did you? What was it like? Were you like the only one up for it? Did they see a photo of you and they were like, "That's Annika"?
No, I mean I auditioned and I did like several callbacks with the producers and everything, and my little funny anecdote about it is that obviously for the first season singing and playing guitar was a big part of it, and in the audition it said that you must play guitar, and I had never touched a guitar in my life, and so I like went in and they kept asking, do you play guitar? And I was like, no, like I don't, like I was so glad that I was an honest actor, and I was like, no. I can't even like pretend. And then for the network test they were like, can you just have her bring a guitar and like learn something? So I borrowed like my 10-year-old neighbor's plastic guitar and learned something on YouTube and
Like Rock Band style.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. I mean, no, that wasn't. It was,
Okay.
it was a real guitar.
Like an actual guitar.
It was like for a child.
Okay.
But yeah. So anyway, so that was like my. It was very nerve wracking, but it was also, I think, one of my most things that I'm grateful for, because it's like, because I still take guitar lessons and it's super fun. And I like learned so much, and like just getting to do the whole music side of things and like having a song on iTunes or whatever is like a very cool experience. So,
But you sang before the show.
I mean, I like grew up, I did some like musical theater like growing up,
Right.
and but I never saw myself really
Singing.
as a singer.
I love that. Oh my God.
But
going
it
on
was,
to a
it was
show
so
and
fun. Yeah, it's like
becoming
you
a
get
musician.
to, you get to like learn this whole other skill
Side
set.
of you.
And it was great because I would like, get to I would like walk into recording studios and just be able to be like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and like everybody could kind of like take care of me a little bit.
Like, don't worry.
I don't have to act like, oh, I totally got this. Please,
you're like, because I don't.
leaving, hanging out with Beyonce. So I don't no, I'm just like, I don't. But it was really, it was very, very cool.
Cool.
So-
And then, I don't know, funny moments. I know that the cast is all very close because you all see each other naked all the time. No, I'm
Very
just kidding.
close and
Every
personal.
time on set.
I can tell you
yes.
how many moles Blair
Oh,
has.
Okay, we want to know that. We want to know. Yes, and the number is.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, would I?
No.
So good.
I know. I forgot what was the. Just we're very close. Yes, like we have lots of barbecues together, and everybody's. It's very. It's a great close cast. And I was telling you guys before earlier that season 1, Matt and I have a very like prankster type relationship. And so on the first season, I put a toilet monster in his trailer on his first day.
On his first day.
Yeah.
So wait, because you like had met him before.
I mean because we had done the pilot together.
Okay, got it.
In like
Before
in the winter, and like we had and then we were in Atlanta for like a week doing tests and all that stuff, and so but it was like the first day of actually filming, and I'm
surprise. Okay, wait. So what's the best prank that he pranked on you? What's the best way to say this?
Oh yeah,
You got it.
Pranked me.
Yeah, pranked
This
you.
was, I think, on the pilot, but we had some bet. Oh, he bet, like we were betting all the time, and he bet me that Lord of the Rings sold more than Harry Potter, and I was like, that's ridiculous because Harry Potter is obviously better. And
Obviously.
thank you. Like let's just,
Obviously.
I'm agreeing
let's
with you.
have
Sure,
a moment.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Harry Potter's obviously
Obviously.
better. And so he was like, Michelle, please, like Lord of the Rings has sold so much more. So we had this bet, and apparently I lost. But the bet was, if you lost, for the rest of the day, you had to, anytime anybody asked you something, you would have to respond by saying, Matt is God, or Michelle is God. And so I lost. And so for the rest
What a
of the
bet.
day, anytime anyone asked me a question, I would have to be like, Matt is God. Yes, like I would love a water or whatever it was. And like he told the whole crew, and so like crew would come up to me and be like, "Hey Michelle, do you have the time?" And I'd be like,
no.
Matt is God. It's 4 o'clock. Like, and just ask me ridiculous questions. They're like, "Is it raining, Michelle? Is it raining right now?" Matt is God. No, it's not raining. Like it was pretty. It was a good bet.
I think I would have busted out with sign language to try to appease that. I wouldn't have to speak it. I could just sign it because there was no clarification that I actually had to say it out loud. So I just,
you and your loopholes, Allison.
Loopholes.
Yeah.
Or
Fair.
okay. All
See,
right.
I'm just like too competitive that I would like,
Like, I'm gonna do it.
keep betting him and like be like I have to win one. And
You didn't.
no.
There was no Michelle was God.
Well, see, there's the thing. I probably did, and like Matt is just too.
sore
He's like,
loser.
please, like I was just whatever.
Oh, right.
Figured out.
When
figured out
he
a way
loses,
to,
he finds the
Exactly,
loophole.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know those types.
I don't like it.
Those times.
All right. So we should do some predictions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some saucy.
And
It gets
now,
fancy in here
Your
for predictions
AfterBuzz
time.
TV predictions.
We fancy here.
I feel like you can't do any predictions, Michelle, since that
Yeah.
I know.
You
Just-
know them all.
would you know everything. Khalil, let's start with you.
Unless you just have like a crazy one to throw us off. That could be fun.
You could do that
just say
if you wanted to,
I'm gonna
but
think. Oh, that's good. I'll think
think
about
on
it.
it. Oh,
All right.
sorry. Okay.
Neil and Grace are getting back together.
Okay.
I didn't see
Good.
the Adriana liking him,
Okay.
but until you
interesting.
said it.
Yes.
But it makes sense and it fits. So I could see some meddling going in there.
Yep.
But they'll be back. They always come back.
That sounds like a line from the show. Okay, go on.
Okay, let's see. So I think that Grace and Adriana are like really gonna become close.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
No, I wasn't saying that to that. I was just trying
Was that a
in
tell?
general, I've been
Did I hit
trying
on something?
No, in general, I'm trying to cover my face so I don't do
Okay.
it.
She's got like the shield going
Yeah,
on.
it's just
Okay.
like, don't react. Don't react.
Yes.
Just gotta
I
drink
feel like
my-
something's. I got some vibes in this. This
between
season
them.
opener.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
between
Yeah,
like
I'm
they
with
had
you.
some moments where it was like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
something
yeah.
might happen.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
In many ways.
I like it.
And then I don't know about Neil and Grace, but I do feel like they have very interesting life paths now. They're going down this whole strange path, so I feel like that really is going to be like the common ground that they connect on. It's going to be hard to find others to get in relationships with or be serious with that are going to like get what's going on. So like by
Totally.
default, they may just be like soulmates.
I don't think that Simon and Annika will ever hook up because that would be so gross.
Too gross.
That would be not okay. So I'm gonna just put that out there.
For the record, I don't want them to hook up either.
For the record, accepted.
It's good.
I think definitely Neil and Grace will come back to each other in like, I don't know, 4 seasons or something. I think that there's going to be tons of debauchery this season. I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to get a really huge arc from Grace in pursuing this like next phase of her life. I'm curious what's going to happen to Neil's boss this season, because we know that Spencer Garrett is going to play more of a role this season. We saw some of that with like the Zen Master coming into the office, and when the Zen Master comes in, people are affected, clearly.
I could use a Zen Master.
People are
I know.
clearly
Sign me up too.
So, yeah, no, I think it's just going to be juicy. Literally. All season.
Literally.
Yeah, I do. Pretty excited. I guess they're wrapping us. Everyone. Thanks so much for joining. You can find me. I've been your host, Allison Dean. Find me everywhere at the Allison Dean. Blake.
Yes, you can find me, Blake V, on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Khalil Boo Boo.
I'm on Instagram as Michelle DeShon and Twitter as DeShon Michelle.
And you should definitely follow her. Everyone, we will see you for a fantastic season of Satisfaction. Hashtag Are You Satisfied?
See you
Bye, y'all.
next.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later. So weird.
Solo
You did it,
one.
bro.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.